Hi, I'm Arlene, host of the television talk show Ask Arlene, which airs on Thursdays at 6:30. And as a business consultant and life coach, I help you to move forward in your business, project, or endeavor. So if you always wanted to write a book, but you just haven't seemed to get started, or you always wanted to 10x that business that you already have, expand it to the next level, you know exactly what you need to do, but you just haven't done it? Well, I've already purchased all the courses, read all the books, the Tony Robbins, all sorts. I have several degrees, including a master's degree and credits toward a doctorate. I've sat with and met celebrities and done the networking. And what I realized is what I really needed was a mastermind group of people working toward my project, my business, or my endeavor. So what I've done is met with coaches and met with experts and put them together to work on your project. So join us today for our Mastermind networking group. I'll see you there. Click the link below and join us. Hello and welcome to the Ask Arlene Show, the show where you get to ask the questions and we answer them. So today we have a very exciting show for you. We've got five tips to success, okay? And we're gonna just be with you for 28 minutes, so it's not going to be long. So I'm gonna ask you to tune in, and at the end, we're gonna give you a bonus. So we're gonna start with number 5, and then the most important one, number 1, will be last. So number 5 on the Ask Arlene Show, so that you can help yourself to overcome fear, get unstuck, and live your best life. The key secret to success, number 5, is consistency. Consistency. That means doing the same thing the same way over and over and over and over, being consistent. So let's say you find that the system is not working. Then yes, are you allowed to shift and change the way that you're doing it? Yes, but you're not supposed to change the goal. Now that's one of the key secrets to success for people who actually accomplish greatness, okay? They're doing the same thing over and over and over again until they become so good at it that there's no one else on the planet that could ever possibly do it better than them because they've done it for more hours. So many of you have heard of the book, it takes, 20,000 hours to be an expert at something. So you need to consistently do it over and over and over again. So Warren Buffett, he is one of the wealthiest people on the planet, but he's been doing the same thing, the same business for several years, for years and years and years and years. There was a story that was done about Kobe Bryant, who is arguably one of the greatest basketball players that ever was. And they say Kobe was practicing for hours on end doing the same drills over and over. And he was doing those drills more than anybody else. There was an interview and somebody said to him, well, I got to the court and I saw you practicing. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning and he was practicing, working out. And then the guy got on and he practiced for an hour and a half. Kobe was still going. He was still going. So the guy sat down and he relaxed for a while and he watched Kobe. And he realized the guy wasn't stopping. So finally, he went to the game, he knocked it out the park, and the guy said to Kobe, listen, I saw you this morning. You were working out before I got there. You had broken out into a dead sweat. You worked out while I was there, and then after I was done, you were still working out. What's the secret? And he said, I had to work out and work out to show you that I was going to do it more than you. I was going to be more consistent than you. And of course, I'm paraphrasing, but the concept is that he was doing it more than everybody else. So if you want to be an expert at your field, you want to be dominant in your area of expertise, you need to be consistent. So many of us start businesses or we start projects and we say, well, it just isn't working, Arlene. It didn't work. I got a coach and I tried it, but it didn't work. But how many times did you try it? How long did you do it for? These people who are consistently at the top of their game are consistently doing the same thing over and over. So, for example, many people talk about the success of Abraham Lincoln. He's one of the greatest presidents ever. But do you guys know that it took him a lifetime before he got to be president? He kept trying and failing. He kept trying at being an elected official and failing. But he didn't lose hope as far as what the goal was. He consistently attempted to get to the goal till eventually he became president of the United States, and he was one of the greatest presidents ever. And there's a video, it's called Successful Failures. If you look at these people, these are people who've been consistent. Like Michael Jordan, they say he was cut from the basketball team when he was in high school, but he kept going. He didn't quit. Oprah Winfrey, she was fired when she was early on in her career, but she didn't quit. She consistently kept going on and on in that particular vein. So when you get fired or when you get pushback or when you have difficulty or challenge in that area, that is not a sign that says stop. That is a sign that says maybe revamp the route that you're going in to get to that same goal, or take a break, refresh, and move forward again. So consistency is one of the key tools, and I can't stress that enough because there are people who have done the same thing for years and years and years and years. So let's say you have 5 different businesses and your goal is to be a multimillionaire. Can you only be a multimillionaire in one business? No, it could take several different businesses, but the goal is still the same and you're being consistent on that journey. So, as I always say, step number 1 is determining what the goal is and then consistently get started on it and don't stop. Don't stop. Be consistent. And if you stop and you interview people, like I've done, very many people, I had a radio show before, I had a television show. What they will tell you is, although you're seeing them blow up now, they've been doing the same thing for years and years. Beyonce is the perfect example. She's one of the most successful singers and dancers. However, Beyonce started singing and dancing as a little girl. When you listen to the story, they talk about how when she was in her home, people didn't want to come visit because they knew they were going to have a dance presentation or dance recital by Beyonce if they showed up at her house. And she was just a little girl when she started. Me with speaking, when I was very little, I grew up in an environment where we had to do public speaking. So I was a little girl on a stage doing a presentation. So I'll get up now to do speeches on stages with thousands of people, and they'll say, wow, you were so good. And they're comparing my presentation to somebody else, to you who's just starting out and speaking and saying, well, I'm not as good as her. Or you're saying, I'm not as good as Tony Robbins or Jack and Jill, whoever, Joe Schmo, but you're comparing yourself to someone who's been consistent in the field for years and years and years and years. And so now they have perfected their craft. So what must we do? We must get started because it takes so many hours for you to perfect it. And in order for you to be consistent, you've got to start somewhere. So why not today? Start today when you turn off this program, get started on that journey in that particular area that you feel like you'd like to perfect. Okay, so we've been talking about consistency for a while, but I also want to point out all of these martial arts experts. They do the same movements over and over. Kia, kia. And there's a gentleman that I know of. His name is Jeffrey Canada. Look him up if you're not familiar with him. He is or was the founder and president of the Harlem Children's Zone, which is an organization that helps young people in the inner city to grow up and self-actualize and they call it from cradle to the grave. They have programs in the inner city that help kids. Okay, and adults. So the question was, how did this man who grew up in Harlem become so successful, go on to Harvard, and then come back to the community and start this world-class organization where they have their events at Cipriani's, and he's just done really well. But one of the things is he's a martial arts expert. He knows about taking those incremental movements and doing them consistently and consistently until he's able to perfect them. And so with his organization, he also started and didn't deviate from the plan and kept going. He started with very few programs, and then they expanded to more programs and more programs and more programs until it is the world-class organization that it is today. So that's it. Consistency. That's number 5. Let's look at number 4. What is number 4? In addition to you doing the following the principles of those martial arts experts, there's another guy who's head of workforce development. He's out of Florida. His name is what is the gentleman's name? Um, Okay, they'll come back to me. I'll share it. Look it up. Workforce development in Florida. He's another martial arts guy. A lot of these people, surprisingly, are martial arts people. So there is this concept of being able to do one small movement, but do it over and over and over again, and until you perfect it. For some of us, that can be a little bit nerve-wracking, a little bit boring, but I'm telling you, if you're consistent at anything, you're going to eventually be an expert at it. So that's your secret. Get started on the journey. Number 4. Be prepared to, oh, I'm sorry. What's number 4, guys? Show it to me down at the bottom there. Do something you're naturally good at or gifted at. Beautiful. Do something that you're naturally good at or gifted at. Now, why do I say that? Because if you are already good at, and then you spend the 20,000 or 2,000 hours working at this thing, you're only going to get even better at it. So it would behoove you to start out with something that you think you have a little bit of expertise in, or even if you're not an expert in it, but at least something that you enjoy. Because if you don't already enjoy it, the likelihood that you're going to consistently do it over and over and over again is very slim. But if you're already good at it, you're going to get some degree of or level of accomplishment when you do it. You're going to get accolades, and those accolades are going to pump you up to keep going, in which case you'll have more energy to continue. You'll have more inspiration and motivation to continue. So please do something that you're already good at. For example, if I were to decide I'm going to be a basketball player, it's going to take me way more hours to work on doing that and becoming that star basketball player. So I would not be comparative to Michael Jordan. And even after the 20,000 hours or the 2,000 hours, I still wouldn't be at Michael Jordan status. But if I start with something that I'm already good at, a little bit, or at least have an inclination to, a natural inclination to, and I build on that, I study and I do the work, and I continue to practice, I'm just going to be more successful at it. And the idea is that you want to be more successful at something than anybody else in the world. What do you do better than anybody else in the world? And the question is not what do you do better now, because remember you have to put in the hours, but what do you think you could do better than anybody else? Or what would you enjoy doing and you feel like you could consistently do for hours and hours and hours and not get tired? Because that really is the secret. When you're hitting those roadblocks, it's very easy to quit. And there's a great boxer. He said, it's not how hard you can hit, but how hard you can get hit and get back up. So if you're getting hit at something that you're already good at, that you enjoy, then you're going to be more likely to accomplish it. So I want you guys to go to my website. It's www.askarleneshow.com. And I want you to subscribe, put in your information, and tell us what it is that you think that you would like to be working at, what it is that you think you could be the best at in the entire world, better than everybody else. Hi, Bertram. It's good to see you. Mr. Brown is on today. And I know I also see Gigi on today. So I want you to be working on something that you're already good at, that you can be great at it. So it's going from good to great to the best in the world. Okay? So everybody should be working on something, a project, not just your 9 to 5, unless that is the thing that you think you can be better at than anybody else in the world. Then yeah, focus in on that. When you come home from work, continue working on that particular project and just do it and do it and do it until you're the best. And remember that practice doesn't make perfect. So this is another key point. And I'd like them to type that in for me. Practice doesn't make perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. So while you're working on that project, make sure that you're getting insight and help as to how you can perfect it and do it better. So each time you're practicing it, you're doing it better. So let's say it's public speaking. We have a program and it's about how to be a world-class speaker, how to be a better speaker than you were before. you need to practice. So you have to have people that are listening to you that can critique you and tell you how you can improve on that skill or that ability. If you're just speaking and you're speaking incorrectly and you're consistently speaking incorrectly, then how does that ever help you to improve? Okay, so it has to be hours and hours and hours of consistent practice at something that you're good at in a way that's going to help you to improve it more and more and more. Okay, so we're at 16 minutes. So the second one was doing something that you're naturally good at, naturally gifted at, and doing it in the right way. Okay, secret number 3. Drum roll, secret number 3. Hi there. Yes, greatness, greatness. In order for you to achieve greatness, you've got to work at it. You've got to work at it. Okay. And the next one, number 3, is be prepared to work. So there's so many charlatans out there. These days, I see people saying, oh, you don't have to work at it. You can work 3 hours a day and you'll just be a multimillionaire. Well, I don't know any multimillionaire that only worked 3 hours a day and became successful. Now, if you do, I want you to type it in the chat or send me a message and tell me who those people are, and I will research them. And if they are consistently achieving and knocking it out the park, they're multimillionaires and they only work 3 hours a day, and that's how they started, I will change my stance on this. However, right now, I say there are a plethora of books and materials out there that tell you it's easy, and I would love to tell you that it's so easy. You only need to work 3 hours a day, and give me lots of funds, and I'll tell you how to be an expert at it after only working 3 hours a day. But I haven't seen that, guys. That's not really what I've seen. And I fought it. There's a quote by Frederick Douglass, and he says, without struggle, there is no progress. And those of you that follow me online know that that has been a quote that I have struggled with and battled with. And I've asked you guys your opinion on because I really don't like it. I don't believe that we should have to struggle in order to make progress. However, despite my disdain for the quote, I have not found that the quote has been incorrect. So Tara's of the world, Tara Bramble and Bertram's of the world, and everybody who's engaged with me in this concept, I have not found it to be fallacious. So you have to work, be willing to work. And a young lady, she's a teenager, her name is Crystal, and she said to me, well, she doesn't like to work at her job. And I said, well, that's why they call it work. If it was supposed to be fun, they would call it play. But it's not called play, guys. It's called work. But if you're doing something that you're already good at, that you already enjoy doing, then that takes the sting off of the work and you'll be more likely to consistently do it because you know it's something that you enjoy and you know it's something that you're already good at, okay? And that you can only get better at. As you get better, you're going to earn more. As you get better, you're going to get more compliments. You're going to get more love from the people outside because you're doing something that serves them, okay? So that was secret number 3, which was be prepared to work at it. Okay? Not work like a dog because it's something that you're already good at and something that you already enjoy, but you're going to be prepared to work at it. Okay? Put your pedal to the metal and start going. Oh, somebody says God worked. Yes, Jesus worked. So should we. Oh, I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So if he had to work, that's our example. We need to work too. I don't know anybody, like I said. There is a book and it's widely published, and there's this widely discussed concept that we don't need to work in order to accomplish these great things, but just 2 or 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, actually. But I've not found that. So share it with me if you know how we can do that. So the next one, secret number 2, and we're moving along quickly. Let's see what it is. What is secret number 2? Drum roll, please. It is your network. Who are you connecting with? Who are the people that you are connecting with? You have to connect with the people who are going where you want to go, or people who are already where you want to go, or people who are at least supporting you on the concept that you are going somewhere. So many of us have friends and family members that we're surrounded by, and we need to evaluate, are these people supporting us on our journey? If we're not supported on our journey and we're not surrounded by people who support us, then we need to shift. We need to adjust it. Okay, so that we can be supported by quality people. So whenever people run a campaign, so everybody knows I worked in politics for many years. When you're running a campaign, what do you need? You need people around you that are doing the work for you, to support you, to build you up, to support you, to hype you up. And I love the story of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was the best of the best in boxing, but he walked around with what? His hype man, the guy who built him up, the guy who would encourage him day by day. He's walking around and constantly in his ear, he's hearing this positive chatter. So I want you to use the link below because I know it's outlined at the bottom of the screen where you can contact us and we will be your support. We're going to be the people who hype you up, who talk to you, who speak into you, who encourage you to walk the right walk and talk the right talk, which is what you need in order to accomplish that goal and have success. So people say success is, hopefully you've heard of the 80-20 rule. It's 80-20, but it's not that you only know 20% and you need your coach or you need somebody else to help you with 80%. It's that you already know what you need to do. 9 times out of 10, if you're sitting here and you're listening to this video and you've watched this television show till now, you have a dream already. You have a focus. You know what you want to do. You have the ability to get started. But the only thing that has been stopping you is what's going on between those two ears. If you have desired to achieve this goal for many years and you haven't yet achieved it, it's you. It's what's going on in between those two ears. Okay, it's your thought process. And so you need somebody to come alongside you and support you in that journey. So that leads us to our secret number one, which I'm going to discuss from now, which is in the 5 steps, which is you need a coach, you need a support. So, in line with our secret number two, which is your network of people, you also need that support coach to come alongside you and say to you, you can do it. You know, you have the ability, and also look at your plan because you need to have a viable plan in order to accomplish this. So, guys, I'm not telling you about something I heard or something I read in a book. I'm telling you, I read it, I heard it, and I practiced it. So, I understand that if you have that desire, that goal, that dream, that vision, and you do not have that plan behind it, and you're not working consistently with a good network of people who are supporting you to accomplish it, it is going to be that much more difficult. So, yes, you write it down, even though you don't know the details of how you're going to accomplish it. But secret number one is to have that coach because that coach supports you on the journey so that you can accomplish the dream, the goal, and the vision. So when you get tired and you're like, I'm not going to go online live today, your coach says, yes, you have to go on live at least one time every day. And as a matter of fact, I listened to a gentleman who is blowing up on the internet right now. He is not just a 6-figure earner, but a 7-figure earner. And he doesn't go on live once, he goes on live 3 times a day. So, guys, you're listening to this show and you're listening to it 1 time per week, but we could be on 3 times a week. Okay, how many times are you on? So many coaches are saying, oh, you should go on live once. No, Arlene McLaren says you should go on 3 times per day so that you can maximize whatever effort it is that you're doing or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So, guys, that's it. The 5 secrets to overcoming fear, getting unstuck, living your best life, and just having all round success. Do we need a person alongside us? Yes. Do we need somebody to speak into our ears? And I've done a show where I talked about Oprah Winfrey, and she talks about her coach and how her coach was constantly speaking words into her ear that helped to defer her own thoughts within her 2 ears that were telling her she's not good enough, telling her she's not able to accomplish her goals. And she's Oprah Winfrey. She is arguably one of the most successful women on the planet. And she has a coach and needs a coach to support her and tell her how good she is and tell her that she can accomplish her goals and her dreams. So, how much more do we need somebody to support us and tell us that we can accomplish our goals and our dreams? And also, like I said, the secret is the plan. The plan. If we have a viable plan, we can accomplish that goal toward our success. So, everybody's heard of SMART goals, goals that are measurable, simple, attainable, realistic, and that they have a time frame attached to them. So when is it that you're going to achieve this goal or this um, desire. Okay, so you should have a time frame on it, but also you should have a specific plan. And if the plan is not working, we do what? We adjust the plan, but we don't negate the goal. So we should have a burn the bridges mentality. And many of you have heard the story of the great warrior, Alexander the Great. And he burned the bridges, he burned the boats. And there's a Greek tale about the Trojan horse where they wanted to overcome and they wanted to destroy this particular city. And they couldn't get in the walls. And so they burned the boats, and used the wood that they didn't burn to build this Trojan horse. And through the horse, they were able to get into the city secretly and be able to overthrow the people that were in leadership at the time. So, whatever it is that you're looking to do, it should be something that you can dominate in. So, you're not just looking to achieve this goal so that you can be good, you're looking to achieve this goal that you can be great. Because remember, this is something that you came into the world to do. This is something that you have a great purpose in order to accomplish. You have people that you need to touch and lives that you need to change. And so you're going to operate in this way. Follow these 5 secrets to success so that you can make that goal, dream, or vision come true. Thank you so much. I need you to listen to
Ooh. Name some things I'll be without you, good. Stop the growth, I bet you think you could. Said you gon' leave me, man, I wish you would. Yeah, I'm different, so I'm misunderstood. So I'ma always be good. Said I'ma always be good. What would you say if I told you the people you missing won't call you again? What would you say if I told you the people around you don't stick to the end? Newer vibes and different faces. Life is all in different phases. How can you fly away if the people around you still got you in cages? You need empire, get the empress, yeah, yeah. Cop your kingdom, lead the fences, yeah, yeah. Keep the facts, I hate pretenders, yeah. No days off, I got perfect attendance. No vacation trips, I don't pray for this. So it's only right I stay with this. Man, y'all can hate on this. Past 180, that's my kin. Sticking with them to the end. And I love them like my bands. Keep them deep, so take a spin, yeah. Name some things I'll be without you, good. Stop. Name some things I'll be without you, good. Stop the growth, I bet you think you could. Said you gon' leave me, man, I wish you would. Yeah, I'm different, so I'm